You're listening to Nice Set. I'm Andrew Lisa, and this week I'm speaking with New York City comic Dan St. Germain. Dan is a regular on Best Week Ever and has a half-hour Comedy Central stand-up special coming out this spring. He's been seen on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon, John Oliver's New York stand-up show, The Electric Company, and this Friday, February the 1st, he'll be headlining the Hollywood Improv. Dan spoke with us from New York City about his involvement in the UCB controversy and their policy of not paying comics even when they charge a cover at the door.
Well, the basic premise here is that if you're charging admission and you're selling out shows on Friday and Saturday nights, that comics should get paid. So, it's pretty black and white for me.
For the people listening who don't know what UCB is?
UCB does that. Pitt, I know, has paid me before and then has not. I have a lot of good friends that are part of the UCB community. I'm very good friends with Chris Gessler. I'm definitely friends with John Frusciante and Nate Dern, and all these guys I know are good guys. But when you open up a second UCB, you kind of like take away the argument. Well, we're just like a little self-supporting theater here. They have a touring company, and the truth is, you're marketing that theater as a stand-up theater. So when you advertise our credits and stuff, and people come to the show because they see, oh, I know Nick Turner, oh, I know Michael Lawrence, oh, I know Hannibal Buress or whoever the hell's going to be on it. When they see that, we are drawing people to that theater, and we don't get the same. And I understand, you can't pay all the improvs, you can't pay all the sketch, but we didn't come up from UCB. We came up from open mics. We came up for shitty bar shows, and that's and the whole culture of the stand-up is a lot different than the culture of the sketch. This is a family environment. Well, not really for us, because, we kind of came up our own way, and I really do think if you do a job, one of my good buddies who's a cutthroat Republican business owner said to me, put it even simpler. He goes, well, you guys do a service, right? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, well, you should get paid then, right? You know what I mean? And if this guy can say it, then how come they can't say it? It's just very basic. You pay us money if you're charging. I'm more than happy to do free shows. More than happy. But if you're going to charge $10 a ticket on the weekends and you're making money from the bar and you're packing the theater out, throw me $10. Now, the argument has been made well, is that $10 really going to matter? Well, I have two things to say that. One, cumulatively it does, because if you say you can't pay me, then other places say they start to not be able to pay me the church mission. And two, you don't tell me what I do with my money. You don't tell me if $10 is a lot of money or little money. $10 is a lot of money if you're bouncing from spot to spot in a cab, or if you need dinner before your set. That kind of stuff adds up,
Of course, it's completely subjective. Depending, of course, what a dollar means is completely different from one person to the next. That's a ridiculous argument.
Yeah, I was saying this to Mike. Yeah, I was saying this to Mike earlier. It's I do think that on the stand-up side that we've been a little bit more. We've used harsher language. I don't agree with some of the things he says. But I think that the ideas that are on the sketch side are infinitely more dangerous and harmful to the performer. I didn't want to do this, man. I'm making enough money now that I don't need to fucking do this. I'm set for probably the most part of the year as far as other ventures I've had. And UCB has helped, just like other places it's helped. But, Union Hall has done just as much, if not more, and they pay you. I don't want to be put in this position, but it's my dad was a captain on the writer's strike. You know what I mean? Ted Alexandro and some great comics that came before me stood up for higher pay in their day. Todd Barry, too. If we don't say anything, it's there's just a matter of time. Kurt said something and Mike said something and I had to say something. But, I don't want to. Well, listen, half the writing staffs in L.A. have UCB people on them. There's nothing that's good that's going to come from this in my career. This sucks. But,
there's
right.
a principle involved, and there's a precedent involved. Like you said, if you set the precedent now that this is okay, then you kind of by default screwing the next generation that's going to come up under this system. And if you feel you have to stand on the principle, then it's the right thing to do. And I'm sure there are UCB writers who, whether or not they say it, agree with it wholeheartedly.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, but anyway, that's basically my 2 cents. But, there's a lot of good people in that community, and I really don't think that the people who are in the middle of this, and some of the people, I can't say who, I really don't think they support this policy, but they can't say it because of the people on top. But, hopefully it'll, and, I hope it resolves for their sake, too, because, if the major news media picks out on this, and not just the comedy blogosphere and Facebook, they're not going to look great. There's no way that you can argue for them in this situation. They're going to look terrible.
Yeah.
So it's like, make a concession now before this gets out of hand. Seriously, I want to work at UCB again. I just want to work at UCB with a clear conscience.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
I mean, here's the thing.
I have it that way.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I have 3 spots coming up. I mean, I have spots that I already booked at UCB and another place that doesn't pay the church admission. I'm going to do those because I'm not going to dig first. You know what I mean? But then I will not be taking any where they charge and they don't pay.
Right.
After I fulfill these obligations that I said, I just won't do it anymore.
Yeah, well, if that's your line in the sand, man, I don't think anybody can blame you. And the way it looks like it's playing out with the amount of public sentiment on your side, I don't see this policy standing for that much longer.
Yeah, but we'll see. I'm hoping for the best. So there's enough good people in that organization that something will happen.
Yeah, good. So the Comedy Central special you have coming out really quick this spring. You're coming out with a Comedy Central special.
Yeah, and then I'll also have an album on. I'll have an album on Comedy Central Records. Not Comedy Central. I'm sorry. Oof, that's bad. I'll have an album on Special Thing Records coming out in the spring, as well as a half an hour. Best Week Ever is on every week, every Friday at 11. I'm on that, and look for. Hopefully the show gets made, and hopefully this new web series will be out in the fall, and I'll have new film.com stuff coming out in the spring, too. And, I'm going to be headlining I have a lot. I'm headlining Acme Comedy Club and in Minneapolis and Atlanta Improv in March, and then I'll be at the Comedy Attic in May. So.
All right, and for the rest, you can go to danstgermain.net. And Dan, like I said, I've had the pleasure of performing with you a few times, and you were always a really nice guy, always a really approachable guy. And I want to congratulate you on all your success. I couldn't happen to a better guy and a better comic before you.
Well, I thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Okay, I do. Thank you.
All right, keep it going. Keep grinding, and I'll
see you out there.
Take care, Dan. Thanks again.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.